We're starting to get a little more chill in the air slowly but surely, which means we're edging closer to basketball season in the 518. Welcome to episode 27 of 84 Feet with Cady and Cap. I'm Brian Cady. That is Albany Academy girls basketball varsity coach Brian Capitula, reigning two-time Class B champs in Section 2, moving up to Class A this year. Cap, what's going on, man?
It's up October 1st. Got a pumpkin candle burning, and it's cold out, thank God. So we're ready to roll.
Cap.
What?
Cap. Do not tell me you're a pumpkin apologist and enthusiast.
No, I mean I don't drink any kind of pumpkin lattes or anything like that.
All right, so pumpkin spice is like in every corner of your apartment. You're good.
No. The best part about fall is definitely the candle scents and the weather. That's the two things. We just had this question at work. Candles and weather.
Okay.
And playoff baseball.
Right, which we are currently recording in the middle of, which it's whatever. The Yankees aren't on, so I don't care. The Yankees are too good to be on right now. It's all good. But good on the Tigers and the Royals in their first games of the series. Let's go. Yeah. Let's go. I can't stand the Astros.
No
if you're a Yankees fan, you like and you respect the Astros, I don't respect you. So that's where I put it. So this group we got coming on the show in just a second. We had an interesting time trying to get them on the first time. There was Wi-Fi lockouts and a fire alarm and an open house and just a lot of hilarity. Let's just put it that way. But now it's all good because they're all in the coach's house. They've all had their pizza, including a cat, I think. I don't know.
The dog, not a cat.
I thought it was the cat that jumped up.
It's a big cat.
I saw black and white fall down. I didn't see what it was. All right. God, pain in my ass. Anyways, so we have. I think this ties for our biggest group. I think, or is it the biggest group we've had on the show at once?
I think it's biggest. Mechanicville was 4.
So this is the biggest. Right, I was trying to remember if it was 3 or 4 Mechanicville players. Yes, this is the biggest group we've had so far at one time. God bless my Wi-Fi that I'm recording on. It's okay. We'll be fine. So we have a quartet of players and the head coach for the Academy of the Holy Names. Of course, that's Steve Gigliello, along with a trio of seniors in Brewer, Gianna Savoca, and Murray. And then we have sophomore Maggie Volmer, who will stand out because... all right, now you're sitting up straight. You are the tallest one there. Okay. All right, Coach, ladies, good evening. First off, the two ladies from the volleyball team, so that would be Lauren and Gianna. Y'all caught your breath. You just ran in from practice. Y'all good?
Yeah, we're good.
All right. The other two, how are you? Good?
Good.
Coach, last but certainly not least, welcome. I know we've been trying to get this going. You have a wonderful shadow going on with the hat on, just so you know. But how you doing, man?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having us and your patience with the first time was kind of tricky, but we were able to finally get it done. So we're excited to be on the show tonight.
So to get to a little inside baseball startup, I have to ask, because in the midst of all the FaceTiming and phone calls from myself and Coach, there was a lot of giggling going on in the background. So I have to ask, was the giggling more about just the technology not working? Or were you laughing at Coach for not being able to get the technology to work?
It was kind of like a mix of both. We were just enjoying our pizza. He got pizza for us last time too, so we were just enjoying our food and letting him kind of struggle through it and huff and puff. But we're here, and
I mean, it's better that you see him huffing and puffing over that than huffing and puffing over, a poor performance in the court, I would assume.
Not yet. That was soon.
All right, so first thing I just want to jump into real quick with all ladies, and because I fixed my script, I have everyone labeled left to right in my order. So just so everybody knows, if you're watching this on the YouTube channel, Morgan's on the far left, Maggie, Gianna, Lauren. That's left to right, and then Coach is, Coach. So all 4 of you play a secondary sport as well. Morgan, you're a soccer player, Maggie, softball, and then Gianna and Lauren, like I mentioned, you just came from volleyball practice. For you, and we'll just start we'll just go left to right. Let's start with Morgan. As far as going through and growing up and playing, from when you were little and to where you are now, how important was it for you to maintain that competitive level and playing multiple sports, and how much has basketball gotten to a point where it's above or maybe the same level as the other sport you're playing?
Well, for me, my mom played Division I soccer, so soccer was always pushed at me from like a young age. So for the longest time, soccer was like my top one. Like that's what I wanted to do. But then probably around like 7th grade is when I started like, getting into AAU with basketball, stuff like that. And then slowly like basketball kind of just took over as what I fell in love with. But it's always been important to me. Like I play club soccer still. And it's always been important to me just to continue having that balance, because I think sometimes like when you like love something, you take it really seriously. So then having soccer as kind of a fun outlet for when basketball gets really serious is always good.
You're good, Maggie. Go ahead.
Okay, sorry. So for me, I played softball ever since I was like 3 or 4, before I even started playing basketball. And I always played a travel league for softball. But eventually I started playing basketball for school, and my school didn't have a softball team. So I started gravitating more towards basketball, and that's when I really started to love the sport. And I continued from there and started playing AAU, and that's how I'm where I'm at now.
I was always a multi-sport athlete. Like I did gymnastics, I did cheer, I did softball. I did all of it, and I always did basketball. I've been doing basketball since I was 5, but that wasn't always like my top. I was just at such a young age where I was just trying to stay like in shape and keep myself busy. I can never just like be sitting like in the house. So I had to be doing something. And then I started volleyball in like 7th grade, and I didn't expect to be good at it. I just kind of showed up to tryouts. My teacher was like the coach, she was like, come. And ever since then I've played volleyball, but basketball has always been at the top and very serious for me, and something I want to continue doing outside of high school.
Yeah, same for me. I've been playing multiple sports ever since I was young. And I started playing volleyball in 9th grade, and I had never played before. So for me, volleyball is just more for fun, when basketball is just more serious to me. So it's fun to have something to do like during the off season.
This question's for Coach, because obviously, Coach, you got left out of that question. But so you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yep.
So for you, obviously, anyone that doesn't know, Coach Gigliello is also a teacher at school. So obviously, he sees both sides of it, academics and athletics. But what do you think, like, the biggest challenge right now? And you have your own children that are going through it, but what's the greatest challenge like most athletes are facing, like right now, in terms of just of everything that's going on?
So I think it's a couple things, Brian, right? I think one of it is time management, because unlike when we were their age 20, 30 years ago, they have so much more at their disposal. So not only do you have school for 8 hours and then practice, multiple kids are doing 2 or 3 different leagues, whether it's volleyball or basketball. So they get home later, and there just seems to be a lot on their plates. So the things that, I mean, these guys hear me say it all the time. The most important part is balance, learning how to balance and get rest. And it's, you sound like the old nagging parent, but getting enough sleep, being hydrated enough, all these little things that are so important for real student athletes. And so I think having that balance is super important. And then the technology piece. All of us are on our phones all the time, but being able to teach them to put it down, and like stop comparing ourselves to others, just you got to worry about you, and, you got to control what you can control. And we talk about that a lot. So I think those two things, having that balance with the time management and just worrying about yourself and your people, are 2 of the real big challenges that we face with student athletes.
Coach just mentioning time management. Obviously, another piece to that is going beyond the realms of just school sport, as all 4 of you ladies have been playing AAU as well, with Morgan playing for the Albany Lady Stars, Maggie with the Maggie and Lauren with Albany Hurricanes and Gianna with Cap City Scrappers. I'll start with Lauren and work our way across the other way on this one. All in all, how do you feel the AAU experience has benefited you overall as you've been developing through the years? And is there maybe one or two people specifically within your organization that you've played for that have really stood out as being key to the development of your overall talent?
Yeah, I started playing Hurricanes from a really young age also. I think I started playing in 4th or 5th grade when the program was like new. And I think Michelle Vita, who started the program, like really helped me a lot. And like her sons, who are my coaches, helped me a lot to like grow as a basketball player. And also my mom was a coach, so she was a really big part of how I developed and how I played on the court.
This is my first year with Cap City Scrappers, but I've been with Janelle Sharp for 3 years now. She had like Domalie before that. And I've like grown with her. I played AAU on a couple of different teams, but I feel like every year like of AAU, I've just gotten better. And like that talent like that you go and like play with, like it's not about going and just winning the games. Like it's really getting that experience and playing against competition that you don't always see like during high school season. And it's really good to get that experience during AAU. And I think like that's why AAU is so important. I mean, obviously also for exposure, but really that competition that you see out there.
Yeah, I agree. This is my second year with Hurricanes, and just the extra workouts, the extra practices, the good competition that we get, it's all really good, and it helps a lot for school season. And I love the people, I love the energy, I love the competition, and it all helps me a lot for school and also getting a lot of recognition.
For me, I started playing for the Lady Stars, I think in 8th grade, and I've just stuck with them through. But going off what G said, I think the biggest thing for me is like getting to play like levels of competition that I wouldn't get around here. Like, not to say we have some really good talent in the 518, obviously, but like getting to go to like Kentucky or Chicago and playing against kids from all over the country, and honestly just getting like the experience with that, like traveling, like I've been like lifelong friends through it. Like, I don't know, they're just I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Now I know Cap wants to jump with a question, but I have to ask this right now. Coach, are you rearranging deck chairs? Are you doing a construction project? What the hell are you doing over there?
All right, we have a here. I'll put him in. We have a 6-year-old German short-haired pointer, and we have a 5-month-old puppy, which I'm not sure why we bought her. And she gets a little angry, but they're fighting, and they're romping around the house, and they're excited we have company. So we're trying to manage them. Although it's no fire drill.
You bought the puppy for the kids. That's the easy answer right there, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess. I'm not really sure. She's not really into potty training right now, so there's you'll hear them throughout. So I apologize, but they're
You're good. I just want to make sure we weren't interrupting any projects for you. That's all.
No, we're good. Like I said last time when we were talking, one of the big things for me is just having these guys around and getting to see them, out of school and having them together. As Brian can tell you, that team chemistry, that bonding, whether it's pizza and wings or just hanging out for 45 minutes to an hour, I think that's so important. So I'm happy they're all here. So
food always brings us together, Coach.
Yeah.
Hey, as long as you're not giving them sharp household tools like Jerry Vian was doing to some of the players recently, you're fine. It's okay.
Yeah,
Apparently, Coach Vian, he needed some help with home improvement projects. So
what
was it? Like a chainsaw in the picture? Like what was that, Cap? That was, I don't know. It was interesting. You're on mute, by the way, Cap. Thank God. Good job. There you
My
go.
bad. I don't know what he can build anything. I'm not sure.
I might have the picture actually. Give me 1 sec. You can go ahead and ask your question.
Yeah, I'll go. So obviously you guys, and I'm at a private school too, so there's always a stigma at the private schools, and you guys hear it when you guys play other schools. Like, oh, private school kids. It's something that I for whatever reason, there's just a stigma around it. But how do you feel like your high school experience so far? And obviously, Maggie, you haven't been through all the way through it yet at high school level, but like at Holy Names, your high school experience, how much have you enjoyed like being at a private school and having a smaller setting than you may have if you were at a bigger school?
Yeah, I'll start because I went to South Colony my freshman year, so I went from a very big school to way smaller, class of like 500 to a class of 48. So I love it personally. Like it was the best transition possible for me, like not just basketball wise, but like educational. It's really like it really preps you for college, and I'm so happy that I made the transition.
Yeah. So I came from a small school, All Saints. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but I went there my whole life. And so going from a small school to a small school, I just felt very comfortable. And everyone's like family there. It's an all-girls school, so we're all like sisters. And I just love everything about it. The education's very good, and I'll be prepared for college.
Yeah.
I transferred in my freshman year. I went to public school like G before. Mine wasn't quite as big as hers. I'm from Greenville. It's like the middle of nowhere. But for me, I was just looking for something a little bit more like academically focused. And so for me, Holy Names was the best choice. Like I felt like it was such an easy transition. I've met like some of the best people I have. And I don't know, it's perfect for me. So.
Yeah, same. I think I couldn't imagine being anywhere but Holy Names. I think it was the perfect fit for me. The perfect fit for me. And yeah, I've met the most amazing people and the most amazing teachers who have just helped me over this is going to be my 4th year there. And they've prepared me so well for college. So I'm really happy that I chose Holy Names.
And I'm back.
My computer was being stupid. Sorry. Did they teach you puppy training at Holy Names at all?
No, but I'm definitely getting my steps in tonight. That I can tell you. That's for sure. One of them's digging through the garbage, and the other one, as you can tell, is ramming the gate. So they're having a good time back there.
And the construction picture. Holy mother! This is the construction picture I was talking about, by the way.
Oh, nice.
I would not trust any of those ladies with any of those tools except maybe the hammer. That's about it. Sorry, Cap. I wouldn't. No. No. But anyways, so in the midst of Coach trying to manage this backroom lot brawl, just want to ask you real quick, Coach, because obviously you like Cap mentioned, you're balancing teaching and coaching, and right now you're in the midst of a fall season over at Bethlehem where you teach, and
Sure.
Bethlehem obviously was in the news lately, along with it's been a very weird first month of the school year, it feels like, because there's been issues at Bethlehem, issues at Schenectady, Albany, Queensbury, Shen. There's been all kinds of issues with threats to campus and other sort of events. Schenectady's trying to upgrade their metal detector system and security overall. It's been a really scary first month of the school year, honestly. So for you, as a teacher, parent, and coach, who was there on campus at Bethlehem when some of this stuff was going on,
Sure.
just kind of walk us through your thought process when all that was going on in the moment, and now you've had a few weeks to reflect now about the scare and what is going on. You know, how you feel as a teacher and a parent about everything going on.
Sure. Definitely no doubt about it. I mean, no one ever wants to go through any threat of violence, and whether it's in the school or on the court, you know, safety is paramount. These young ladies are students at Bethlehem at Holy Names, first and foremost, and even the teachers and faculty, right? It is paramount. Safety is number one. So we have to be safe at all times, and I think that's the most important and always at the forefront. I think what it's actually cost in hindsight, now looking back on it, it's actually a pretty good thing, because I think it forces us to reevaluate some of our plans on what do we do if there's an incident outside, because I think most incidents of school violence are within the schools or people entering the schools. Very rarely are they on the soccer field, or in this case, the field hockey, the turf field, you know, but it's really forced us to take a good look on what are our protocols and how do we do things in a safe manner for the student athletes and for the people that are at these events. But, as a parent, as someone who went through it, whose daughter was on the field playing at the time of all this, it was definitely super scary. I wouldn't really wish that on anybody, but, like I said earlier, I think the silver lining is, should something like this occur again, I think I'm a little bit better prepared now as a parent and watching out for my child as well as others, but it definitely makes you put things into perspective also. I mean, we know sports is such an important part of these young student athletes' lives for 4 more years. We're with them all the time. But in essence, it's really about family and the people you love. And it's just a game, and I say this all the time, like they'll forget the score of the Academy Holy Names game, but they'll remember times like tonight or times where they had the team dinner and that family orient and that culture that you bring. So, I think it's all made us hug our kids and our players a little bit tighter.
Sure. Now, Morgan, I'll ask you this question first, but and it can be a simple answer. It doesn't have to be too complex. But is there a coach or an athlete that you kind of look at? And it can be someone else. It could be a parent. It could be an uncle. Anyone that you look up to, like as an athlete, as a role model at all?
I'd say for me, some like role models I've had is like my freshman year, and this isn't even for basketball, it's actually soccer, but it kind of implement like the rest of my life. The captains that were they were the captains of my soccer team when I was a freshman. They were just like the best leaders I think I've ever had. And they kind of taught me things like about leadership that I think I now try to implement. And without them, I don't really think I'd be who I am today. So for them, I've always just looked up at these 3 girls, and they've always been the role models for me.
That's awesome.
I was gonna say I definitely look up to these 3 here with me because they were very welcoming. They were very welcoming for me my freshman year, and I've gotten so close to them within the past year. So yeah, I
feel the need to like tackle me always.
Yeah.
I would say my brother, honestly. Just like he's now D1 baseball player at Charleston, and just like watching like his work ethic and like everything like he's been through, like he wasn't always like walk on a team and like you're a starter, like he had to work for that, and he's shorter. My mom's like 5'2", so like he's shorter, and that didn't stop him from going D1. So really just like looking up to like how hard he works and like the motivation he has.
Yeah, I'm basically going to say what Morgan said, but with the leaders that I've had throughout my whole basketball, like the whole time I've been playing basketball, everyone who's just been older than me or coaches, they've always just helped me and always been so welcoming and always like helped me personally to grow, even from like a young age when I like needed, assistance.
I need to jump in and follow up on something Gianna just mentioned because for those of you watching or listening, we're recording this on Tuesday, October 1st. So obviously this past week, very scary situation through Southeast and Mid-Atlantic coast with the Hurricane Helene. Your brother, everything okay down in Charleston with him? Is everything fine?
Yeah, it didn't really like hit that area like super hard. It was just like heavy rain, little wind, but nothing too damaging or anything. So he's good.
Okay, very good, very good. Now just to not obviously, but before the show, talk to Maggie and Gianna quick about the 518 Superior Showcase, which was this past weekend in the really Colony, honestly. I don't know why it's still an Albany address. That's not for me to figure out. But anyways, just want to get your both of your thoughts. I know, Maggie, I'm assuming you're probably pretty new to the showcase events. So, but Gianna, obviously, you're a senior, and these are, for those who don't have any commitment made to a college yet, obviously these are huge for you as far as getting your name out there and putting a face to whatever recruiting report the colleges might have. So obviously just address the experiences for the two of you and maybe how you might be able to lean on each other, as you go through, this whole season, as far as Gianna looking to get an offer, obviously, and Maggie, just continuing to build up that resume for yourself.
Yeah, it's definitely, I mean, I've attended many showcases, and it's definitely like you have to go out there and like give it your all. Like basketball is a team sport, but like in showcases, like you're going to promote yourself and you have to show your strengths. If you're a 3-point shooter, then when you get the ball, you got to shoot that 3-pointer. So I just feel like showcase is really about promoting yourself, and that's what I've been trying to do over the summer between AAU and just showcases. And obviously this high school season, we'll get Maggie. Maggie's got to get some luck. She's very talented, and she's young, so she has a lot of time, and we'll get her there.
Thank you. So for me, just like Gianna said, if you're a 3-point shooter, definitely show your talent. But everything that you work on in practices and workouts and everything like that, I feel like showcases are definitely the time to use those skills that you've been learning and practicing on. And yeah, as long like bring the energy, have good like there's a lot of good competition at showcases and stuff like that, which can also help you. And
yeah, you want to show characteristics that are
right.
making you stand out compared to everyone else. And if no one else is locking down on defense, like you got to be that one person.
Exactly. Right.
All right, now I'm not going to age Coach at all, so but we'll talk to Coach just about like his coaching career, because I knew Coach before I was ever even a coach and thought about coaching high school basketball. But so Coach, you started at Holy Names like 2006, 2007 is your first year. So this will be your 18th year of coaching at Holy Names this coming year?
19th.
19th, okay. In those 19 years, obviously, you've had a lot of success in the Colonial Council. I think you've won 8 Colonial Council championships. You guys have been to the Section 2 title game multiple times, obviously this year again and prior to that. But the players that you have now to like the players that you've had in the past, what do you see as like the big difference in like today's basketball athlete versus what you may have had like with your 2013 team?
Yeah. So I'd actually started coaching 5 years prior to my stint at Holy Names. I was at Mohan with Amanda Blackstone in 2001, 2002. I was coaching freshmen and assistant varsity, helping them out. And we beat Shalmont in the Class B title game. I was there for 2 years, and then over to Bethlehem in the same role, coaching freshmen for 3 years, coaching freshmen and helping out with the varsity. And then I was fortunate enough to land the Holy Names job when Paul Barrett left and went to Troy, and that opened up. And so, for me, I think it's year 24, 25 total. Not much has changed in the way I approach it mentally. I tell the girls every year, I still get excited and nervous during the first couple of days of tryouts or when we're making teams and making decisions for JV or varsity. You would think after all these decades that it's old hat, and it's not. I still wake up at 3 a.m. in a cold sweat and I'm thinking about 8 million things. So for me to have that fire and that desire still burning tells me I'm right where I need to be. In terms of the players, I've been really fortunate. Before me, there were only 2 other coaches at Holy Names, 3 really. Molly Pentak, Joe Anastasio, and Paul Barrett. Molly started it briefly. Mr. A was there for, I think, about 9 or 10 years. They battled with South High in the finals during the late 90s. And then Paul Barrett took over in 99, was there for about 6 years. So when I got there, there was already a culture and an expectation and a level of excellence. So in that regard, the pressure was high, but as a lot of people say, pressure is a privilege, and you gotta do the work, and it's hard and it's uncomfortable and it's nerve wracking. And so for me to try to live up to that, my first few years, my wife will be the first to tell you, I never came out of my office 2 a.m. I watched film nonstop, and I wanted to give everything. Of course, we were much younger, no kids, but I wanted to give everything I had to my program and to the girls. And I think having that tradition and excellence is really what motivated me. I mean, back in the day, it was us and Watervliet, and Gordy Johnson, and Watervliet would roll into town, and then there wasn't a seat to be had on either side in the doorway. and it reminded me of like a Duke North Carolina game. And I don't think a lot has changed with our culture and our players. That's one thing. I always like to say at our place, tradition never graduates; it just continues. But I will say the one thing I've noticed, and again, we just talked about this, is kids are doing more outside of the season with trainers and AAU, but things seem to have cycled more. There's less 2-sport, 3-sport athletes and more kids doing soccer and volleyball or basketball year round.
Sure.
And I think that's the one thing that's changed. In regards to like the 2013 team, every team is different. That team was super special. Mary Kate Murray, Kit Small, Sally O'Toole, Hannah Friend, Deja, all those guys. But every year it kind of resets, and we see what we have, and every team is different. And I'm super excited for this season coming up. I mean, it's only October 1st, and I'm already not coming out of my office much. So that's a really good sign.
Girls, it's okay. Cap won't do it, but I will. I'll age Coach. Coach, your first year at Mohawk, fresh out of graduating at Siena. That was my freshman year at CBA. So there, now I'm aging you.
That's all right.
Yeah, I had just graduated Waterville Elite at that point too. So
thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Cheers.
I have to say one of the things that's kind of a double-edged sword. When we do our alumni night, a lot of the girls from that 06, 07, the early years have come back, and they're all married with little children or kids in elementary school that are possibly coming to my camp. And on one hand, it's a little frightening and wild, but on the other hand, it's kind of wonderful. So
sure,
keeps you grounded.
I've been around a long time.
Keeps you grounded. Keeps you level-headed. It's all good.
Yeah.
Now that I totally just gave away my high school alma mater, I do want to kind of bring this up to the ladies, because I don't know if it still exists, but back in the day, back in the olden years when I was at CBA from 01 to 05, there was, how should I put this? Friendly competition between the LaSalle boys and the CBA boys of trying to figure out who the girls at Holy Names really supported. We'll put it that way. So as a CBA guy, I want to hear the correct answer on this one. Are we pro CBA or pro LaSalle on this team right now?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. That makes me feel a whole lot better about life, especially since I think Coach has a boy going to CBA, correct?
He did. He's at Bethlehem, but he did go to CBA.
Well, whatever. It's
always a brother once.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Once a brother, always a brother. Absolutely.
Exactly. But the real question I want to get into with the ladies is just want to quickly go across the board here, since all of you have basketball as basically your primary sport, despite whatever various activities you might be doing. Is there a specific player or team, whether it's college or WNBA or even the men's game in the NBA, that lights a fire under you, that you watch highlights of, you go out of your way to watch games of, that motivates you to keep pushing and keep putting the work in? We'll start with let's start with the sophomore. Let's start with Maggie. Go ahead.
Okay. I like Camila Cardoso that plays for South Carolina. There's nothing specific. I just like how she plays. She's a big, so I just watch her a lot.
I was gonna say, what a shock! The tall girl picks the 6'7" girl from South America. Go figure. Okay, all right. Let's go, Gianna. Go ahead.
Ooh. Wait, let's go to Lauren.
All right, you went to the other question that popped in my head. Let's go with Lauren then.
Honestly, for me, there's not like a specific team for basketball. I honestly just like college basketball in general.
Yeah.
Like way more than the NBA and the WNBA. I think it's just way more exciting. It's way more intense. Like watching, I just have so much more fun watching those games.
Yeah.
I just think it's so much more exciting, and yeah.
Gianna, are you trying to pass off the Morgan now?
Yeah, because I don't really know, to be honest. This is kind of like off topic, but I like generally like watching film like of our Holy Names team. Like if you ask Coach, I'm the first person like to watch film like when it goes up. Like I ask him after every single game, I'm like, is the film up yet? Like I actually enjoy watching us play, and it helps me look. I mean, not only look at our team, but me look at myself, and that wasn't the right pass. Like, it's just like little stuff like that. Like, not only, and then I'll go to coach and be like, this play or something like that. Just like, like it helps our team, but it also helps me improve. So that's kind of like off topic a little bit, but I like watching.
Morgan, your answer doesn't have to suck up the coach as much as Gianna's, but go ahead with your answer.
I'd say mine's kind of basic. My favorite player is Caitlin Clark. I just think she's awesome. I love like how she shoots, everything, but also just like the attention she's brought to the game. I think watching, like, especially like as a girl that's grown up playing basketball, watching the sport kind of grow as I like get older, I think it's just really fun. So
Cap, I'm gonna hijack for a second here. So I'm sorry if I'm interrupting the question you have. You mentioned Caitlin Clark, Morgan. So I'm gonna ask this across the board. The garbage that was going on this whole entire WNBA season, even going back into her senior year run at Iowa, and everybody trying to, let's just say, make things about more than just basketball. Did it make you want to throw your cell phone against the wall every time you saw stuff like that? Because I don't know about you, but for me, who also used to do sports talk radio, I want to punch my MacBook screen every time I was seeing stupid stuff like this. Like, to you guys, I mean, is it absurd that's kind of gotten to this? Like, because obviously, world of social media, then you are very much of the generation that is the main generation that's part of it. So, like, how much does it kind of get inside your head and make you just frustrated about the way things are out there?
Yeah, that irritates me a lot. I mean, I follow a lot of that stuff, but like just like the pinning the players against each other when that's really non-existent. Because I feel like it promotes like a feeling of like that's what's supposed to happen, and like I wouldn't want that to happen. I mean, obviously I'm not playing at that level, but I don't want that petty stuff on my own team. So like I don't know, it's irritating.
Like when you see the videos of like, oh, like she tripped her, like, or she just fell, and they made it seem like she tripped her, and now it's like a big like ordeal, and everyone thinks like they're against each other when it's just like they're probably good friends like outside.
I'm gonna. Gianna brings me to a good direction here. I'm going to say this right now. I think there are men out there who are just male sports fans that are scared of the idea that women can play as hard as the men can. I mean, go watch, like they're all buddy in the NBA. So really, you're not going to see anybody get, unless it's like the playoffs in Game 7. Nobody really goes hard in the NBA.
Right.
These girls, like DJ Carrington from Connecticut, she don't give a damn about you. She like Caitlin Clark, obviously, she don't give a damn. She plays like a bulldog out there. She don't care about having friends. She's going out there to win the game. I think there's men out there. I'm not saying there's any sitting here. There's not. Don't worry. But I think there's men out there. They're a little. What's the word I'm looking for? Insecure. That's the word I'm looking for. Well, insecure about the fact, hey, these women, they can ball, and they're balling better and better, which leads me to coach for a second.
Sure.
Because you've been coaching around here for a couple of decades, 25 years since I've been in high school. I had to. I'm sorry, but but so you've seen the way that the game has been evolving. Both as a coach on the sideline and even just as somebody who watches the state tournaments and keeps an eye on AAU, and especially the last, like, I feel 5 years, the talent level here in Section 2 has really gone to another level, to where the class of 25, 26, 27, even there's some girls in class of 28 right now that are really creating a whole new bar for what can happen in Section 2 with girls hoops. I just want to get your thoughts on that real quick.
I agree, and I think it's a combination of two things. I think, and Brian, you can jump in, you'd agree with this. I think it's a mix of fundamentals, getting in the gym, getting in the reps, whether it's your ball handling or your shooting or your jumper, whatever it is. I think there's a mix of that, and there's no substitute for that. Caitlin Clark, Steph Curry, Ray Allen, Larry, all the greats will tell you that the game is very simple. So I think there's a mix of that. But then with today's day and age where we are now, you see the kids, they're so much more versatile than they were 10 or 15 years ago. And, I've had this conversation with Maggie. Not only do we want our bigs to be able to play under the basket, but I want you to be able to get an outlet pass and handle the ball and be able to pull up from three. So the days of having stereotypes and pigeonholing kids into a certain position or being able to only do certain things. And I still hear it today, not as much in AAU, but in some high school games, I'll go if there's an off night. And I hear coaches will say things like, oh, well, certain players can't do this or they're not allowed to. And I'm like, why not? Our kids today are so much more versatile. Some of the things that they're able to do, just kids didn't or weren't 15, 20 years ago. So I think the bar is very high. We've got a super talented group in the Capital Region. And I think what speaks to that is the culture and programs, to that, and to this point, like 4 or 5 years ago, before Brian got to Academy was not very successful, and it really, the basketball wasn't a strong point, and Cap's gotten there and they've been very good. And, you go to a game and it's a great environment. And that's the other piece in Section 2 is you come to a Holy Names Academy game where you come to a Catholic high, the environment that's created, it's palpable and it's great. And I think that's great for Section 2 girls basketball. But I think it starts with culture and it starts with the coaches. We're with our kids, not just from November to March. We're doing summer leagues. We're doing team camps. We're doing workouts. We're doing team bonding stuff. And for us, that's the expectation. And, hopefully it's helped these girls, especially if they want to get to the next level.
It's all right, Cap. I'm going to write down that note for you. Maggie Volmer, 6-foot point guard. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Cap.
They're already what's it, October 1st? There's already a partial scout done, so it's only October 1st. So, and I think too, like to get off your point with the WNBA, I think the one thing different between the WNBA and the NBA is the team pride, because the salaries are what they are in the WNBA, right? Like the lowest paid player makes $70,000, and the highest paid player makes like $300,000. So there's a lot more team pride in those kind of teams versus the NBA is like, I'm going where I'm getting paid the most money, versus the WNBA is creating that culture. So that's creating, like, not for nothing, but like everyone doesn't have to love each other. Like when we play Holy Names, we don't have to love everyone. As soon as the game's over, we'll shake hands, but like there should be a little bit of rivalry, which is what's happening in the girls' game, that the boys' side's it feels like it's kind of going away from. Like it's the girls' side's become tougher and the boys' has become a little bit less. Like if that makes sense. That's what I feel like.
So it's funny you mentioned that, Cap. So about 14 years ago, Jackie Murphy, who played for me for 4 years and ended up playing at Hobart William Smith, played in the exceptional senior game. And Gordy Johnson from Watervliet was coaching the senior game. So Watervliet Holy Names back in the day was very, very Duke, North Carolina-ish. And so, at the end of the game, we play the Foothills or whatever, and Jackie's playing for Gordy. And Gordy goes to give her a hug, and Jackie just like stares at him. And she's like, yeah, I don't know, coach. She's like, I'll shake your hand. She's like, I just can't hug you if you're from Watervliet. Like, and Gordy and I are very close friends. Sure. He's one of my mentors. But like, to your point, that rivalry is healthy to a degree. That competition and that sense of pride, it's really, it's a really good thing.
For sure. No, I'll go start with you, Lauren, because just from meetings, I feel like Coach likes everything that you do when you're on the court, Lauren. Behind the scenes, you might not hear it, but I feel like every time we're somewhere, your name comes up somewhere. So that's props to you. Whatever you're doing, keep doing it. But in terms of, and I'll let Coach after answer for all you guys, but how would your teammates describe you? It can be one word, it can be multiple words in like a sentence, but your teammates that are sitting next to you, like, what would be the number one word they would use to describe you?
Honestly, she's like the glue. Like, she doesn't have to score 30 points or get 100 rebounds, but Lauren does every like little thing that like 100%. Brings us together. Like, she'll get that rebound, or she'll like, if we, for for example, against Shelma, like she guards Carissa, and that's who we needed to shut down. Like Lauren takes on those big roles and is just such the glue to every single game.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I don't know if there's a better word, but I would say determined. She's very determined. She does everything like
She's very
with a passion.
She doesn't give herself enough credit.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like it's like I think a lot of times, especially in basketball, we glorify like the stat line. Like this person scored 30 points or had 15, but like Lauren does a lot of things that don't necessarily get written down, but we wouldn't have one
like
without
behind
them.
the scenes. Exactly. Yeah, like she might set that screen that might get us the game-winning shot.
Right.
Like it's those little things Lauren does that it is just so like helpful.
Absolutely. Thanks.
Coach.
Yes, I'm here. I'm back.
This is too much.
You know, I think to Morgan's point about the stat line issue, we have to teach kids that you can play well and you can contribute without dropping 20 or without, shooting the ball. Like, and even with my own kids, that's the conversation I have. You don't have to score goals, in order to really be an essential part of the team. You can be the playmaker, and people who know what they're watching recognize that. So I agree with these guys all the time. And I think like you're hearing with us, we talk a lot. We're always communicating with each other in practice, after practice. And I think that's huge.
So I wanted to rewind back to about 7.5 months ago real quick, because I am privileged enough, thanks to Mark Bubniak from Emerald Park, to have been the announcer for girls sectional basketball the last few years. And I have to say, if I could probably count on one hand the games that are memorable for me each year. And I have to say, probably one of the 2 or 3 best sectional games from this past season was the semifinal between you guys and Broad Albin. That was one of the most, and this is not meant to sound demeaning at all, but it was one of the most unexpectedly awesome games. Because I'll be honest, I knew a lot more about your squad than Broad Albin, even though Broad Albin's 10 minutes from me, where I am in Amsterdam. So I was like, oh, this should be a problem. Let's just book it for Catholic Central and Holy Names. What are we doing here? And then they put up a hell of a fight, and a certain player that's no longer with you had her moments of bawling out as well. But all in all, definitely one of the most entertaining games I got to call last postseason. I'll focus this on Gianna real quick, and then Coach, you can follow up as well. That game, like obviously the win is awesome. Was it also kind of frustrating in a way, because it felt like there were moments where you could have put BP away, and then they fought back, and then they could have put you guys away, and you're like, not so fast, my friend. Talk about that game a little bit, and what the feelings were like as the minutes and seconds were winding down.
Yeah, we definitely did our best to prepare, but it's not all about watching film and preparing before. They can come out with a brand new defense or a brand new offense, and you have to fix what you guys are doing, and you have to just react to it and adjust to it. And we switched defenses a couple times in the middle of the game, and it was just, we were doing everything we could in the moment to try to find what was going to work and to just stick with that. I think we ended up in a 2-3.
Yes.
We don't run zone.
No.
And we ended up in a 2-3 that actually it helped us. And there were times where we'd get up, we just had a good couple threes, and then here they come back and they were shooting on us. So it was frustrating in moments, because we could have prevented some of that. How do I say, I don't know, little mistakes that could have been prevented, like giving them wide open threes and letting them come back. But that intensity was what made the game so fun. Right. And it just the crowd cheering and everyone, it made the game. And I was actually glad that the game was close, because it made us fight harder. I think we were more determined that we cannot lose this game. This is it. We lose this game, we're out. And we fought, and it was a good win.
And Coach, if you don't mind following up, because obviously that was, high stakes game. You're looking to get to the sectional title game and compete. Live to fight another day, essentially. You were getting a little red in the face and a little irritated, because any coach would. Obviously, it's one of those games where it's nip and tuck down the stretch. What was that like for you? Because G just mentioned the defensive switch that obviously helped. So obviously you had you made some good strategic moves in that game. Just talk a bit about what that was like, just trying to get to the sectional final and getting by Broad Albin.
So the funny part about that is, just listening to these guys, and part of me is like just seeing how much information they've retained since last year. And it's funny because they've retained a lot. And, listening to them, we had prepared for BP much like we do with everybody, pretty big scouting report, running through plays and sets and really going through some different matchups and ideas. And I thought we were really well prepared, and BP didn't really change anything. They came out and ran their sets really well and but we didn't handle it very well. And I was really like, first half, we were in half court man to man, which if you've seen us play, that's what we do. We'll go our 1-2-2 back to man.
Not too much.
Gee, I'm trying to throw Brian. And so, and it wasn't working. And, I've been fortunate over my career to learn a little bit, not as much as I should sometimes, but a little bit. Like, good coaches listen to their kids and listen to their players. And we talk about this all the time, and it's about trust. And we don't always agree. And we bicker and fight. That's part of the deal. That's part of the growth and being uncomfortable and getting better. And they were, they came to me and they're like, we need to get out of man. And I'm like, absolutely not. And they're like, Coach, we're getting destroyed. And they weren't wrong. And so I turned to Julie and I turned to them and I said, you know what? I'm going to sit back and I'm going to listen. And I'm going to say, okay, let's give it a shot. And they were right. It really, it was one of those games as a coach. In my 25 years, it's probably on one hand, one of the very 3 or 4 few games I've sat back. I really had nothing to do with it. I say this all the time, and people can think what they want. Big players make big plays in the moments. Like we do, we prep and we've trained them and we've prepared them and we've done our best, but we're not playing. We're not rebounding. We're not communicating. We've entrusted them and taught them as best we could, and now it's their turn. And it's a huge stage, and they went out and made huge plays, whether it was G or Soph or Ryan or Morgan or Lauren, whatever, Maggie, whoever it was, everyone made huge plays. But the biggest change was them recognizing that we needed to go to zone, and we stayed in zone the entire rest of the game. And if you know me, I'm not a big zone person, but the object is to win.
Nor do we practice.
Yeah, but in those games, you got to let go and hand over the reins to your kids and just trust them. And, just sitting back in amazement and watching them, it was very nerve wracking, but at the same time, I was a little bit in awe. Was I surprised that we were making big shots or tough down the stretch? And no, because I see that every day in these guys. I know what they're capable of. They know how much we believe in them. But it was pretty amazing to watch them, and a lot of people have said that was a really great high school game. BP played a great game. They made some tough shots. It just kind of came down to who could make shots at the end and the last one, and we were fortunate enough to do that.
I don't know what's going on. I was at that door stamping hands that night because it was our turn to stamp hands, and I hear this guy that's up in this corner here. He's yelling about people shooting it from juniors. There's a shootout. There's a shootout at the Hudson Valley Corral. I'm like, Jesus, what's going on? Like, all I hear every other possession, there's a crowd roar and there's a gasp and then there's a shot that goes in. So yeah, I was like, all right, the next couple people might get in for free, but I have to go watch the end of the game. So that was
and as a coach, like when people come up to you and they say things like this, and that's really the greatest compliment. It's, like hearing how hard your team fought and how well they played, and they played together and they played for each other. And so that's the biggest compliment that I can take away.
All right. So I got one more question.
My son just said, he goes, yeah, it was from the parking lot.
from the parking lot. Exactly. That's what he kept
So
saying.
you remembered, Brian. So I actually wrote a couple of those down, believe it or not. But yeah,
Just in case I need to tap on you to fill in for a game
There
in
you go.
February.
No, thanks. No way. No one needs me behind the mic.
So my last question to you guys: if there's one thing that you can take with you from last season that carries over to this season, what would you take for like from last season going into now this year? Whatever it was, like either successful stuff, bad stuff, whatever it might be. Like, what's one thing that you'd want to carry with you?
I think like our connection. I think, Maggie was a new player last year, and she went out and she started with us, and it was a new adjustment. I mean, we practice every single day, but you still have to adjust and learn how each player plays. And I think like we build such a strong connection, and we do stuff outside. Like when we did summer league and stuff, like we do stuff to try to keep that connection so we're not starting all over when we go back into the season. Mm-hmm. And I think that we already have a good, strong foundation going into the season.
I think for me, by the time we got to that sectional game last year, we were at Broad-Alban and then again at Catholic High, I felt like at that point we finally really began to believe in ourselves as a team. I mean, at least my 4 years here at Holy Names, that was the farthest we'd ever gone in sectionals. And I think we've always been good. It's not like that. But I think we finally believed we were we're here. We deserve to be here. We need to do this. And I think carrying that mentality of we're here to compete into next season. I think that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, I agree with both of them. Definitely our confidence, kind of like Morgan said, and the foundation that we have. If we bring those two together this upcoming season, I think we have a lot of potential. I mean, we already do. We already have been doing good, but I think we can make it further.
Yeah, I think we had a lot of motivation last year to compete against some of the teams like Catholic Central and Academy, and I think we need to keep the same motivation, the same intensity to keep up and get back to sectional finals.
Yeah. I think that's our goal.
Yeah.
And I feel like Lauren just perfectly transitioned in what I wanted to ask the three seniors quick. Sorry, Maggie, but I'm going to leave you out of this for a quick second. Obviously, you get through the challenge with BP. You go and have that sectional title game against Catholic Central, who, as we all know by now, they eventually end up winning the state championship despite some of the worst officiating in that state championship game, but we're not going to talk about that. But for the three seniors, to be at the spot where you were last year, how much does that just ignite more of a fire in you for this year, knowing, you lost Ryan, you lost Sophia to transferring, but you still have such a strong core both within your own class and of now sophomores and juniors that are underneath you that are really ready to come back with that experience in hand and trying to get through that challenge of getting that sectional title this year?
I mean, we have all kinds of different roles on the team. We have shooters, we have defenders, we have rebounders, we have height. And I think we just really need to put all those together, including with the new girls that are coming up, and they have to step into their roles, know their roles this season. And, we have to honestly trust each other. We have to trust coach and just go out and play together.
Like what Gianna said, I think for me, it's I know for all of us, we all felt that way. After losing that game, you go into the locker room and it's you're on the verge of tears almost. It hurts. Yeah. But I think that almost makes us want it more. So I think we're just ready to fight back.
Especially as being seniors.
That
would be great to win sectionals.
Most people don't get
our
to
last
win
year.
their last game.
Yeah.
It would be really nice to finish off with the sectional final win, but we're definitely going to work towards that every day. That is our
goal.
Ultimate goal for the end of the season, besides getting better and growing as a team. So I'm really excited, and I hope we can end up back there in March.
Yeah, I mean, as long as everything stands from the roster I have from sectionals last year, I mean, you've got 5 seniors, 4 juniors, a sophomore, and a freshman all coming back that were at least on the sideline in the course of that Section 2 run last year to the finals in Class A. So obviously, a lot of experience coming back. And Coach, I'll offer that to you as well real quick. How much do you feel like that run last year, getting as close as you guys did to winning the Class A sectionals, How much does that drive you to want to get them back to that position where they can go and win that championship and move on into regionals?
So I think what one of them said was very true. Once sectional started to roll around, we had locked up the one of the higher seeds and had the home game against Emma Willard. I think we had talked about it I said it every day, and they were so sick of hearing it. The eye rolls, the giggling. We knew Catholic Central would most likely be there on March 3rd. It was just a matter of who was going to meet them. And I kept saying, and G just repeated it. Like, we had shooters, we have height, we have all these pieces. We have all the tools to get there. And Julie and I know that we're good enough to get there. It's just a matter of, do you believe? And I would say it every day. Every day I go home, I look at my wall and I'm like, that's going to be us. We're going to be there. And so, every day was a lot of, yep. And then once the Chalmont game, we were able to pull that out. And then coming into the sectionals, I think everything just fell into place and clicked. So now these guys have that experience, they have that belief, and they know it's real, and they know that that's the expectation. Cap and I, we just talked about it earlier. We've been to 4 sectional finals in my 19 years. We've been to that Class A game, so I know what it takes to get there. But these guys, like Morgan had said, in her 4 years, we had gotten to the semis a couple of times, and but never that last game where you're one of the last 2 teams standing. So the fact that even though it didn't go our way, I think the silver lining is the feeling in that locker room is awful. Yep. And we want to change that. And we're going to do whatever it is that we have to do to do it. And, I'm excited. I say this all the time, but I love being around these guys. And, for my seniors, they're going to go on and go to college. Some will play, college ball. But the greatest thing is when they come back for the alumni game in that weekend and seeing them, like the sisterhood, the culture we've created, that's the most important thing to me. So I'm excited for these guys in their last ride, and for Maggie. Maggie's got a few more years left, but now when these guys go, Maggie's going to be up next, and she's going to be the one that turns and says, guys, this is the way it's done. This is how we do it. This is the expectation. And, I'm excited to see what the future holds.
It almost sounds like you're turning into Ted Lasso, and you're going to have a poster with the word "believe" over the door to the locker room.
Brian, I don't think anyone's ever referred to me as Ted Lasso, but.
Well, I mean, it's not like you're in a foreign country or anything, but I mean, never mind.
I'm pretty tough on these guys, so especially in the off season, they get the nicer version of me now, because they know it changes a little bit come the end of October into November.
Listen, as long as you're not creating a play where the signal for it is the middle finger, like in Ted Lasso, you're fine. It's okay.
Yeah, I've actually never seen Ted Lasso because I'm afraid it will make me a little bit nicer. But I
think you should watch it, Coach. I like it.
Did you? I've heard really good things. I've seen that clip about the darts and the double bulls. I've seen that, but I'm super excited for these guys. I can't wait to see what happens. Both our returners coming back and any new additions that we have from JV and beyond, and we'll get cracking November 18th, and Brian's squad, Audra's squad, Chalmont. Brian and I talk about this all the time. I think behind the Suburban, the Colonial is one of the strongest leagues in Section 2, night in and night out with some of these teams in our league, and you throw in Troy in there now, and you got to be ready.
Barbecue sauce. If they've watched Ted Lasso, they understand what I'm saying with that.
Double bullseye.
All right. Cap is so disappointed in my pop culture reference just now. That being said, I have a category that we end all our interviews with these days called Life's Most Important Questions. And no, they're not that serious, except for one kind of. Basically, just give me the first answer that rips off the top of your head. It's for all of you. So what we'll do is we'll keep some resemblance of order here. We'll start with Morgan with each one and work our way across the board for each one. All right? Don't worry. Like I said, they're not life-changing questions. I'm not asking for the meaning of life or how to work with global warming. It's not any of that stuff. Okay, we're okay. All right. All right. First question on the list. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Oh. I'd say like no. Yeah, I don't. It's like because in theory it's just one piece of bread. It's not a sandwich. You need 2 pieces of bread.
I think you're talking through it. You're trying to figure out.
Yeah. So no, it's not a sandwich. It's something else.
It's
No.
Yeah,
I was gonna say I don't think it's a sandwich. I think it's in its own category. I don't know what that is.
Oh,
Are we all answering the same question?
Oh wait.
Yeah, I'll answer the same question.
Oh, okay, it's not a sandwich.
No, I don't know what it is, but it's not a sandwich.
It's a hot dog.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what it is.
It's a hot dog.
Come on, coach.
I don't even understand the question.
Is a hot dog a sandwich? Yes or no?
No.
Okay.
It's an unhealthy cured meat. That's
Leave it to the parent in the conversation to say that.
I
Thank
know.
you very
Yeah,
much.
no, it's not a sandwich.
Yeah,
It's-
I'm gonna go check my calories and my carbs.
I
Ken,
hate
everything
hot
now.
dogs.
Me too.
You gotta go to Fenway, Brian. You gotta go to Fenway.
No.
Who hates hot dogs? Wait, who hates hot dogs?
I don't like hot dogs.
No.
They don't eat hot dogs either.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, whatever. As long as Kep was the only one, then I'll let it slide. Okay. When it comes to desserts, chocolate or vanilla?
Vanilla.
Chocolate.
Okay.
Coach is gonna say none. I eat I eat toasted nuts for
He
dessert.
only eats rocks.
Yeah.
I eat toasted nuts and kale every night for dessert.
Definitely chocolate.
Oh, okay.
Definitely chocolate.
What goes in the bowl first, the cereal or the milk?
Cereal.
Cereal.
If there's anything else, that's wrong.
Okay, listen. So I used to announce at Sage for their college teams for about 6 or 7 years. There's a good friend of mine who played there, and she insists on the milk going in first.
You're just
No.
wasting milk because you don't know how much
It's
shit you're
just
gonna pour.
Yeah.
I don't even
just
know
like
if I've
floats
ever
on the
seen.
top.
Have I ever seen someone
people
pour
do
milk?
that.
Yeah.
Well, this is the question I always bring up.
Oh.
What's prepackaged as one serving size, cereal or milk? Not like in bulk, like on a regular grocery store shelf. Are you likely to see the little cartons sold separately, or the little bowls of cereal sold separately? The bowls of cereal.
You think they go grocery shopping?
No.
No, they do Instacart. I'm sorry, my bad.
Yeah.
Let's see what else. Favorite. Well, first off, Gatorade, Powerade, or other when it comes to energy drinks.
I like Celsius, but then my parents told me I had to stop drinking it because it's really bad for you.
Got it.
Yeah.
So I'm not drinking those anymore. But I like Alani's. That's what I drink for energy.
Wait. You drink what?
Alani's.
The hell is Alani?
That's what I said.
Try
What
it.
is
They're
that?
very good. It's like
Okay.
this-
I've never
You're
had
bringing
one.
one to practice.
Hold on. Hold on. How's that spelled? Hold on.
Sounds Russian.
E-L.
No way.
Alani. Are you an English teacher?
Okay.
Alani?
It could be Italian. Who knows?
Alani.
Yeah.
Yes.
Alani.
Sounds
With
green.
an A.
Sounds like Alan.
Wait.
Yeah.
Alan.
There's an
Energy drink.
Alani.
They do. Oh, it's like a whole drink. It's like a energy drink and protein bar and snacks and stuff. Okay.
Okay.
Oh.
All right.
I mean, this is what I'm seeing. Am I wrong? Is that it right there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
All right. Hey, I'm trying to educate myself too, Coach. All right. I'm just trying to. I never heard of it either.
Old
so
person.
okay. Maggie, go ahead.
I'm not allowed to drink any energy drinks, so I would say Gatorade.
Share.
Okay.
No more.
I just don't drink energy drinks, so probably Gatorade.
Yeah, I drink Gatorade. I don't drink anything else. Well, water. Yeah.
Water.
Water.
Yeah, I'm a water
Water.
guy. Water.
Yeah.
All right. So for those who actually do drink Gatorade, what's your favorite flavor or color, whatever you want to call it?
That's a good one.
The purple one.
Ew!
The rain.
Ew.
Rain something.
Stop. Ew.
It's
That's
good.
like great.
It's good. It is
It's like
great.
medicine. It's like
Yeah,
No,
medicine.
it's not
Yeah.
medicine. It's good.
Yeah.
No, I promise. No, it's not.
I like the Glacier Freeze.
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
Yeah, weren't you up in Maine recently? Right.
Yeah.
Favorite sodas, Moxie. You ever have Moxie?
Yeah. They have it in the almost in the fountain too.
Yeah. It's good stuff, man. Good stuff.
All right. What's the best flavor of Starburst?
Pink.
Red.
Red, yeah.
Yellow.
Oh. That's just.
Yellow. I don't have Starburst. I don't. Graham.
It's not yellow.
Orange.
Or
That's
no,
not much better either.
red or orange. I mean, yellow or orange get left in the
Yeah,
pack,
no.
So
No.
That's fine. Y'all skip the yellow and orange. I'll take the yellow and orange. There. That's all good. All right, last one. If you were on a deserted island and you needed 2 people that you could choose to help you escape that island, who are you picking?
Could be anyone in your life, or anyone that's in your life that you have, or anyone else, anyone you could think of.
Correct. You have to actually know them. Like, don't pick Barack
Right.
Obama or like.
I'd probably
I'd
say
say my mom.
I would say my mom, my dad. Yeah.
I wouldn't say my dad. I'd say no. I'd say my mom, and I don't know.
Go, Annie.
Definitely not my brother.
My mom's just smart.
Yeah, I would probably pick my parents. I don't really know who else would help me get off an island.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. No one would like. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Morgan?
I don't know who I'd pick. I'd say my parents. But, like, I don't know how much they're actually gonna help me. I don't know.
Your parents could get you off an island.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe.
They could.
Okay. I'd bring Morgan.
Yeah,
I'd bring Morgan and my mom.
Yeah.
Help with the technology.
Coach.
I bring my 2 guys behind me. I bring my son and my daughter. They're
Well,
way-
you're not getting off.
they're,
that.
they're way smarter than I am.
Graham?
Get in the say hello. There we go. There it is.
Graham is at every single game on the bench.
He's the biggest hype man.
Cheering.
Yep, he's our hype guy. But,
You.
He creates plays.
Yeah, they don't
So,
always work, but we give them the benefit of the doubt.
yeah, they're way smarter than I am, so I'm taking those guys with me all day. But if I get in trouble, I'm probably calling Morgan.
Yeah, Morgan's got the
So,
brains.
Oh,
It's okay, Coach. We won't bring up the fact that you're a Boston guy to
listen.
define.
No.
Wait, no, hold on, Lauren. What's this reaction? That was a definitive head shake and everything.
Well, I know they're all New York fans.
Yeah.
I know.
Anytime I wear
I'm
a
sitting with
Yankees
a table full of
shirt. Yeah.
Yankees.
Anytime I wear a Yankee shirt, I just get a head
Yeah.
nod.
Yeah.
Anytime.
You know, at least we know how to win our division this year for once. That's nice,
No.
you know.
Exactly.
Listen, it's your own fault that not you personally, Coach. I don't mean that. It's your own management's fault.
I know. We got.
And you had a crap ton of injuries too, like Crawford, Whitlock.
Yeah.
Yoshida was down for a little.
Don't make excuses. They just lost. Come on.
Okay.
Listen. I'm not one of those like Bronx type Yankees.
Listen, I just want to go the Celtics Warriors game this year and listen to the entire city of Boston. Come for Steve Kerr. So,
Nothing wrong with that. One thing I'm going to say is the song I hate the most in my life is Sweet Caroline. So
yeah.
there you go. That all being said, gentlemen, ladies, that's it. That's all I got. Been wonderful having you all on. Left to right, Morgan Brewer, Maggie Volmer, Gianna Savoca, Lauren Murray, and of course Steve Gigliello, head coach, all from Holy Names. Coach, ladies, thank you very much for coming on the show. Definitely appreciate it. And Coach, you can go back to taking care of that hardcore battle royal match going on behind the scenes.
Guys, thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Enjoy it. Yeah. That's Holy Names right there, Coach. I know you're jumping into Class A, so my assumption is you'll probably see them more than twice this year, just the way things look like they could pan out in Class A. So yeah, should be a good season coming up for the Panthers and for the Bears.
Yep. It'll be a good. I don't think Coach loves the logo, by the way, the Panthers logo. I think I've talked about that with him before, but maybe they're improving the logo. But yeah, I mean, it's good that we're right down the road from each other too. It makes for an easy trip when we go play. It's about 2.5 miles away. So
better than bus trips to Potsdam, right?
Or Cobleskill. The Cobleskill, who's not in our league anymore.
Cobbleskill's not that bad of a drive.
I mean, it's bad enough when the driver is not doing a great job. So, and it's cold out, and the door doesn't shut.
That's a driver thing. I can't help you with that. Sorry. So real quick, just want to get your thoughts on 2 quick player updates that came in recently over the last week or so. Number one, Azura Gates, Albany High senior, committing to Siena. I mean, I knew obviously we know she's a great talent, but I didn't even know Siena was on her radar. So good on Coach Terry Prim picking her up, and Peyton Hoblock racking up another D1 offer. This one from Penn. Thoughts about Gates going to Siena, and Peyton? Obviously, it's just the beginning for her as a sophomore with the offers coming in.
Right. No, I mean, AZ's our best, I think our best pure point guard that we have in the area. When we were talking before about like 25s with Jeff, I think she's the best pure point guard. She's just so tough. You can't stop her. She can start getting downhill, but I know her AAU coach, I'm very friendly with Coach Morrison. So I know that she had a bunch of different opportunities. That was just one that she felt like was the best opportunity for her. So it's always tough when kids stay home. Like you stay home, and every time you get on a highlight, they're always going to reference Azura Gates from Albany High School. Like it's just going to be, it stays with you. So it takes a lot of guts to stay home and represent your city, basically beyond just your high school season. You're going to represent your city now for your next 4 years of college too. And then Peyton just continues to get better. I think we'll see how much. I think, what do we play? January 3rd, I think we play Shaker. Just a nice little friendly game. I'm sure it'll be friendly. So it'll be fun to see her play, and just consistently gets better. So as you've seen her, she just learns something new. Her skill set is just, it's hard to teach those kind of things and be that tall. So.
And then just to wrap up real quick, I just wanted to come back around on the one of the things I brought up to Coach Giglio earlier in the show. Just a lot of craziness going on out there with, fake threats, school violence, bullying, all kinds of just insanity. And it's only a month into the school year right now. I want to get your thoughts on that real quick. Because not only you're a coach, you're a parent as well. You have a kid who's in school in fourth grade, right?
Fourth grade?
Yep. Yeah. I mean, I'd assume, especially as a parent, like it probably gets you a little more on that level because obviously, things are crazy. Who knows what can happen? But just give your thoughts on what's been going on and how you think things have been handled so far from school administrators have been dealing with stuff like this.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I watched something the other day on something else. So I get it, but it happened to us last year. Like we had somebody send emails to our senior class and things like that last year, and ended up canceling school for a couple days and had to clear buildings and had to practice off site, like where it wasn't allowed to practice at school. This was all during sectional time too. So we had to practice in a different location last year. So it's kind of a crazy thing. And I hear, and I'm no way politician or any kind of politics of any sort. But the fact that like 20 years ago, and you're even 15 years ago, but we didn't have like shelter in place drills, and we had fire drills that we went outside, and that was pretty much the extent of our drilling that we'd have. Like we knew there was a fire drill that was coming, and that was it. There was no, hey, if there's this, here's how we're going to get down. So I think it's just a crazy thing that's something that they do. And it's even scary, like when you know the notification's coming because they tell you that there's something they're doing a drill, but then you get the text over the phone, like shelter in place. You're still like, oh, is this a drill still? Even though they've told you. So it's just a wild thing. The fact that it's in our area now, then there's been a bunch of stuff. Luckily, like law enforcement and things, we have a huge presence. Even our local area, we have FBI office right in Albany. So they've done a really good job, but it's just there's nothing. It's nothing that kids should ever have to deal with in their high school experience. So I just hope that it continues to get better through the year. It'll get worse before it gets better, but
right.
Unfortunately, something crazy will happen at some point. But let's just hope that whatever happens, it's something that's controlled and can get taken care of. So,
and I'll just jump in and wrap up that by saying this, because I actually have a family friend, lifelong friend of my sister. Actually, she's about to be promoted to detective with the Bethlehem Police Department, and she's an SRO, so she was very much in place with everything as everything was going on with the Bethlehem schools And thankfully, they've come to find out somebody from outside of the area, maybe even out of state. So, the work's been put in, the due diligence, the follow-up and everything. But one thing that she said, and I'm just going to echo it, and this isn't coming directly from me. This is coming from a detective within the Bethlehem Police Department. So it's not like I'm just a random married guy with no kids saying this. Like, parents, we love you. We get you want to protect your kids, but at the same time, you got to be understanding that there's a process to this. This isn't like a TV show where the crime is solved within a 45-minute span without commercials. There's got to be interviews. There's got to be phone calls. There's got to be warrants put out for cell phone and records and stuff like that, and getting to search IP addresses and all that. Like, it isn't something that happened that works itself out overnight, unless the situation is actually happening.
Sure.
When it comes to just threats, stuff just needs to be worked out through the system the right way. So patience is the best word I can give. Obviously, it's scary. We know that. We embrace that. We understand it. But just patience. Just have patience and understanding with the law enforcement, because they're obviously going to try to figure it out as quick as you want it figured out.
Sure.
But it's just the way life works out. You're not going to get answers instantaneously. So that's all I'm going to say. But obviously, scary situations. Thankfully, so far, everything has been just that. Nothing actually in place has physically happened. And we'll just go from there and hope for the best moving forward. And that's all we can really do, honestly.
Yep.
That being said, that's episode 27 of 84 Feet with Cady and Cap. Once again, big thanks to the crew from Holy Names, head coach Steve Gigliello, as well as Morgan Brewer, Maggie Volmer, Gianna Savoca, and Lauren Murray. Great job with them. And next episode, we're going to be getting, we're going to Class B. We're going to go out a little past my neck of the woods. We're going out to Fonda, Fultonville, and getting a word in edgewise from them. That all being said, Cap, you got anything else you wanted to drop in?
No, it's 27, and luckily the playoffs are starting, so it's this 27th championship the Yankees have. 28 hopefully will come later this year. So I will be at the game 1 on Saturday. I will be at. So
all right. Well, if things stay to form the way they were today with game 1 of the wild card series, it might be the Royals. And I gotta say, be careful what we wish for is all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Because
I know Garrett Cole, I mean, he pitches like he did the last game. I'm not sure anyone's hitting them. But
listen, Cole Reagans looked nasty today.
Yeah.
And he could have gone longer. He pitched six shutout innings, and he was only 80 pitches. I mean, kid's nasty. And the team they're young and motivated. That's all we can say. But anyways, that does it for this. Yeah. Episode 27. That's a wrap. Cap, say goodbye to the wonderful people.
Bye, people.